Every quirky Twitter user right now is like, is this movie any good? Nope. Is this Jordan Peele's best movie? Refer back to the title. Yes, this is just a case. Screw that cringe, I'll give it to you straight. No bullcrap or corny lines. Is it worth it for us to get out and go see this movie? Stick around to find out. Nope is Jordan Peele's third movie, and yes, he has been a welcome addition to the filmmaking industry. His style of storytelling is great and unique, and everything he's done has been original, which is super refreshing, and we could use a lot more of that type of filmmaking. That being said, I feel like this movie's reviews are a little bit too high, simply because Jordan Peele has been elevated to the level of master in the eyes of the public and the critics so quickly. Yes, he's been deserving of a lot of it, but that doesn't mean that his work should go uncriticized or analyzed or challenged. Is this movie bad by any stretch of the word? No, not at all. But in my opinion, this is his weakest movie so far for a couple of reasons, which we can get to. But first, let's start off with some of the good about this movie, which there is a lot of. There's some really imaginative and creative and breathtaking sequences in this movie. If you are judging this movie purely off of spectacle, then it might get a perfect 10. I really like the cinematography in this movie. It built tension really well, and it's really cinematic. Some people might feel differently than me, but I liked the pacing of the film in the first half. It gives us just enough and shows us enough to build that mystery up, but I understand how it might really drag for people and make you fall asleep. The sound design is really amazing. Like, it's probably the best aspect of this film and the most terrifying aspect of it. When you hear the UFO overhead or hear the screams of animals or people, it's really unsettling, and it was executed amazingly. For all my movie soundtrack people out there, I really liked the music in this film by Michael Abels, who actually did the music on Get Out and Us. A couple songs I wanted to look up right after because they were beautifully composed, and I give props to him. The CGI in this film is great. I don't remember thinking anything looked cheesy. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there's a CGI chimp at one point where the CGI is a little bit subpar, but I mean, that's about it. I can't get into a lot of detail about the CGI without getting into spoiler territory, but I thought the wire work was amazing. I mean, you've seen this shot from the trailer. It's great. Nothing cheesy or corny about any of the wire work in this movie. Again, this movie is pretty smart and creative. It's an approach to the alien genre that I haven't seen before. It's a pretty good twist, and there's some new ideas here and some really eerie sequences. You'll see things in this movie that have never been put to screen before and will never be replicated again because it would be an obvious ripoff. These things are enough reason for me to tell you to go see this in theaters, because you're gonna get a unique theater experience with some thrills and some chuckles. You might really vibe with this movie. However, there are a few issues I want to address that kept me from fully vibing. I saw this movie with about 8 people. 1 person really liked it, 4 were on the fence, and 3 people didn't. And so while reviews are high, I think that this is a more accurate way to judge this movie. A few people are gonna really like it, most people will be on the fence about it, and some people will just really not like it at all. You know how the first trailer was amazing? There was so much mystery and it looked really scary, and then the second trailer felt almost like a completely different movie? That's because the first and second halves of this movie are like 2 different movies, and you are going to prefer one to the other. Some will have wanted more of that eerie horror vibe from the first half, and others maybe would have wanted more of that catch-on-film expose kind of movie from the second half. But for whatever reason, the 2 tones don't mix super well, and it feels a little bit messy. Some might say that the second act is just kind of straight up weird and they don't like it. It seems like there is a huge mystery developing, but at the end of the movie, you might be like, wait, what was that one thing about? It seems like it didn't have any relevance. And in a way, you're sort of right. This movie is really bogged down by an overly dense narrative that lacks thematic weight. So you're sort of like, whoa, it was building up to be more than just an alien movie, and then it was sort of just an alien movie. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some cool ideas about animal nature and predatory nature and being provoked and things like that, and maybe there's an idea about certain people getting overlooked in the film industry or our obsession with spectacle, but you'd be in denial if you told me those themes were a great payoff to the mystery that it was building up. This movie has great moments. The more that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm liking it, and maybe that'll send me back to the theater to give it another chance. But I can't shake the feeling that this movie is super creative and has some great parts, but the individual doesn't come together for a cohesive whole. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But yeah, there are some scenes and shots in this movie that are incredible, better than great. Like, parts of this movie I absolutely love. But at the end of the movie, I left feeling not quite fulfilled. And this review has been an attempt for me to explain to myself why I might have felt that way. Oh, before I wrap up, I just want to mention that I thought I was going to be really annoyed by Keke Palmer's character, but she was likable and fun and brought a good energy when she was used in the right ways. I wasn't the biggest fan of Daniel Kaluuya's character though. I couldn't really figure out his motivations. He was sort of mumbly and depressed and inward, but then he's suddenly a hero, courageous and selfless, and it just didn't feel like he earned that character arc. It's just in every horror movie, you have to come up with the reason for the characters to stay in the place where the danger is, right? While Keke is being sensible and she's like, "No, we just gotta leave," Daniel's character was trying to keep everyone there to catch the shot, and something just felt unnatural about that. Like, the risk they were taking on was definitely not worth the reward, and it seemed like they didn't care all of that much about the reward anyways. But that might be the point, you guys. I mean, the original title for this film was Little Green Men, which is a play on aliens obviously, but the true little green men that he's talking about is money. Nope is about the human flaw of linking spectacle with money and the monetization of the spectacle. I can definitely see that in the movie. I just personally think that there could have been better character development if that was the main theme. Like, maybe we see them be corrupted by greed or whatever, rather than just a stereotypical hero's ending and climax. In conclusion, you guys, I'm giving Nope a go see it in theaters. There are going to be parts of this movie that you'll love, and you might even end up loving the whole thing. Either way, I'd be interested to see where you fall in regards to this movie. Do you love it, hate it, are you on the fence and wish it were scarier? Let me know in the comments down below. If you love Jordan Peele, then hit that subscribe button and I will personally let him know. As always, JJ, thanks for watching, and the rest of you, stay average.